Hey you guys, happy Feminine Fridays. It's Regal Essence. It's QueenTV. It's QueenTV After Dark. It's Life is a Love Goddess. It is Life is a Laidback Mom. I'm your ray of sunshine in the afternoon time. I'm your crystal healer and dealer, and I'm your past life princess. Hey booze. So, y'all know I'm so excited to bring y'all this topic. So today, you guys, we are talking about being like the rose that grew through the crack in the concrete, which is a poem by the late, great Tupac Shakur. So you guys, I love that poem, right? Would consider myself a rose that grew through the concrete, meaning that no matter what it is that you went through, you found a way to grow in an area that you should not have been able to grow and thrive in, right? And he even says in the poem that she took legs, she defied the laws of nature, right? She defied the laws of nature, and she pushed through to follow her dreams, to be able to teach herself to breathe and be able to push through to the sunlight, right? Now, that's not exactly how it was said. Like, don't quote me. But that's basically how I took it, right? The rose that grew through the crack and concrete, y'all, she was able to get through all the obstacles that had been placed in her way. She was able to grow wherever it was that she was planted, right? And what's so significant about the rose is a rose signifies beauty and love, right? So can you imagine that you go through some of the hardest things that you've ever been through in your life, and you still come out and exemplify beauty and love, okay? So that is what I want to encourage you guys to do, because it's not always easy to come out of tough situations and still have your feminine softness, right? Because we go through certain things and they can make us cold and callous depending on how it is that you process through what it is that you have gone through. So, me as a divine feminine, I have been through hell. I have been dragged through hell and back, right? Because some of us, we awaken, and everybody's spiritual journey is different. Some of us have to deal with a lot of spiritual warfare. And I was one of those people who had to deal with a lot of spiritual warfare. I lost a lot of friends. I lost family. I lost possessions, things of that nature, right? All because there were people who were set in place to basically stop my forward growth, cause blockages in my projects, cause blockages in my love life, cause blockages in my financial life, all of those things, right? But once you start to realize that everything is happening for me, right? It's happening for me, not to me. And once you start to realize that, you really start to be able to get through life in a more productive way, right? Because of course you're not going to go through anything. You're not going to go through things, especially as crazy as it got for me. You're not going to go through things and just be like, la 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 la, life's just great, right? Unless of course you start to process things differently, right? Unless you start to fill yourself with positive literature, positive affirmations, positive ways of thinking, positive ways of processing the things that you have gone through, right? So I was reading up on one of the really great Black Madonnas, and what she believes is that there is no transformation without darkness, right? So we have to go through certain levels of darkness, because that is what causes our transformation. As you begin to experience deep pain and deep suffering, that is how you are able to derive certain lessons in life, right? As you go through deep hurt, deep pain, that is how you begin to expand your spirituality. Because there was a quote that actually says that as we lose things, as we experience loss, we feel the most in touch with our human side, right? But if we can embrace that loss with divinity, we allow for expansion spiritually. We allow for ascension spiritually, you guys. So, the things that we went through are very, very important. There is no transformation without pain. So, we're going to go through certain situations that are going to be dark, they're going to be painful. But if you cannot lose the mindset that nothing is happening to me, it's happening for me, in that whatever it is that I go through, it is going to be an elevation. It's going to help me elevate, right? All my material is derivative. All my material will basically formulate formulate the stage for my elevation, right? Isn't that dope, you guys? So, I am a prime example of that. Everything is material for elevation. So, no matter what it is that you go through, if you can get through it and be able to understand that certain lessons I had to learn, certain parts of me had to be activated, certain things had to be brought to the surface in order for me to be able to deal with them, heal them, and cast them away, and no longer be a part of who it is that I am. Like, yo, like, that's dope, right? So, the rose that grew through concrete, when you think about roses, roses are all about beauty. They represent beauty and they represent love, right? And the other thing that I thought about a rose is that the petals are so soft and they're so delicate, right? So to be able to break through concrete, like, that means that rose was really, really pushing through. And y'all, roses require so much sunlight, right? Typically, roses require an extensive amount of sunlight and moisture. So what kind of moisture was that little rose getting whenever she was in the concrete? What sunshine was she getting whenever she was in the concrete, right? Now, when she rose up and she grew through the concrete, she was able to experience the sun, right? So that goes to show. And also, too, he talks about how she went after her dreams. So we have to allow the things that we see for ourselves. We have to, first of all, allow ourselves to dream, right? And we have to allow our dreams to always be that thing that's pushing us through no matter what it is that happens to us. We are determined to make our dreams come true. We're not going to allow anyone to make us doubt our dreams. We're not going to allow anybody to just come and think that they're going to snuff our dreams out, right? We're not going to allow anybody to come in and think they just going to steal our dreams and they just going to live our dream life, right? We're going to be like the rose that grew through concrete. That is a testament of resilience, right? But I also want to talk about the softness of the rose, the softness of rose petals, right? Because us as feminines, I do not want us to lose our feminine softness, right? The feminine energy is all about nurturing. It's about surrender. It's about trusting the universe. It's about flow. It's about birth. It's about creation. It's about rebirth, right? So it's very, very important for us to continue to embrace those things about our femininity, those things about the feminine energy, because it's very hard in this society to stay in that mindset whenever you're always put in a position where you feel like you have to compete, right? I didn't realize until I started going through my spiritual awakening that, like, there's really men out here that compete with women, right? So that can make you get, it can make you a little cold and callous, you know what I'm saying? But like I was saying on my Instagram post today, and if you don't follow me on my social medias, make sure that you do. Click the link in the description bar. But I was saying on my social media earlier, I'm like, yo, you catch more bees with honey, right? So let's talk a little bit about the feminine and the masculine energy and why the feminine energy is so important, okay? So we all know that the universe operates in a yin and a yang, right? It's all about balance. It's all about harmony, okay? So as we, as feminines, continue to live out our feminine attributes, live in our feminine energy and power. We hold space for true masculines to operate in their masculine energy, which is all about protection, deep listening, right? A healed masculine will be he will listen deeply. He will be a protector. He will be authentic. He will have the ability to stand in his authentic truth, right? So those things are very, very important. He's going to be logical. He's going to be analytical. He also is going to be someone who makes sound decisions, right? So us as feminists, like, doesn't that sound delicious? It sounds delicious to me, y'all. Ooh, my foot. Ooh, my foot. Ooh, my foot is falling asleep. So all of that sounds delicious to me, right? So with that being the case, it's very important that we as feminines, we're operating in our feminine energy, so with that we allow them to be able to fully operate in their masculine energy. We don't get all like, oh, I don't need a man and this, that, or the other. Guess what? God created Adam and then he created Eve, right? Whoa, man. Like, whoa, man. Like, look at this girl, right? So we are out of order if we feel as though we don't need our masculines. We don't need a man in our life. Now, we're all going to go through stages and phases where God is going to teach us about being independent. He's going to teach us how to operate in our masculine energy, right? In order to get things done, because the masculine energy is all about setting boundaries. It's all about action. It's all about taking action, right? So we have to grow and learn to operate in our masculine energy, but also too, we have to be able to operate in our feminine energy. Is so and the feminine energy is so attractive to a real divine masculine or a healed masculine, right? Maybe they don't go by divine masculine. Maybe they're just healed, right? When you experience someone that they listen to you deeply, right? You send a message and they write you back and they say, I listened to your whole entire message. I read the whole message in order to understand what it is that you were saying, right? Like, is that not yummy, right? But if we're operating from some cold, callous state, we aren't able to express our feelings, because also the feminine energy is all about expression, right? Creative expression, authenticity, being able to express your feelings, being able to be vulnerable, right? If we don't step into that, then we stifle the healed masculine, or we stifle the divine masculine from being able to step in and operate in his role, right? Because it's all about yin and yang. It's all about that balance. So as we show up as healed divine feminines, we hold space for us to, number one, attract a healed divine masculine. And then not only that, in the grander scheme of things as it relates to the universe or the world, we allow for, like, every divine masculine you come into contact with, it's not going to be necessarily like a romantic situation, but don't you want to experience healed masculines, divine masculines, whether it's your workplace, whether it's just business, whether it's just freaking in the streets at the grocery store? Because I know I know running into toxic masculines, like no thank you. And like now I'm at a point now, I'm just like, I can be sweet and loving, and if my sweet and loving doesn't cause you to be sweet and loving to me, then guess what? She can flip right, I can get right with your toxic ass. You know what I'm saying? But I prefer to operate within my feminine energy, right? And I prefer a man to be able to respond to me in accordance with that. You know what I'm saying? Not, giving it to me rough because, everybody is rough and everybody thinks that, all the women, because we got it and we can do it and we independent, and we just come off so callous. We just come off so rough, raw, in your face, needing to be in control. I'm Miss Independent. Guess what? You could be all of those things, right? You could be all of those things. But it takes strength in order to be able to be vulnerable. It takes strength in order to be able to surrender, right? To surrender to a cause or a person, right? That takes strength. So don't ever forget how strong you are. And don't ever think that to operate in your feminine energy, a more softer energy, a more submissive energy, it makes you weak, right? Because if you're like the rose that grew between the crack and the concrete, like you've already proven your resilience, you've already proven your independence, right? Depending on how long you've been single, like you've probably already proven that you can operate in your masculine energy, right? So when it's time for you to come into contact with other masculines, you want to be able to switch gears. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to be able to like get out of that. I'm the boss. I run shit. This mine. I can do this on my own. Like that is not how God created it, right? God said that Eve was man's helpmate, right? She came out of his side. She came from his rib, right? That means that's his partner. That's his PIC, right? You know, she riding shotgun or whatever, right? But if we always trying to be in the driver's seat and we still mad about who did what and what this person did and what that person did, then we don't hold space for people that are healed to come into our lives. If we're not healed, we're not holding space and we're not attracting other people that are operating from a healed perspective, right? And I'm gonna put some posts on my community board. Like, I mean, healed masculines is freaking yummy. You know what I'm saying? So we as women, we have to do our part so that we show up as healed, so that we are attracting and receiving, because males are givers and women are receivers, right? So if we show up in our most healed state, if we show up operating very strongly in our feminine energy, right, then we put ourselves in a position to be able to receive, right? If we don't mind surrendering, we're also in a position to be able to receive. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be logical and analytical, and you're going to come in with your intuitiveness, right? He's going to go out and be all about that action. And you're going to be all about creating, right? You're going to be all about expressing, right? But like I said, on the other flip side of that, a healed masculine or a divine masculine is very much a deep listener. He's going to listen to what it is that you have to say, right? He's going to respond, not react to what it is that you have to say. So actually, you guys, like, it's a win-win. It's a win-win situation. You know what I'm saying? And we balance out the universe, right? We keep our families together. We keep our households peaceful. We keep our households running in a way that we are able to raise healthy children for those of us that are still childbearing ages, right? So you guys, I just wanted to, as someone who has been through hell, okay? As someone who has been through some of the worst of the worst, and I've experienced some of the most, like I've always said, like I've said on my other videos, I think I have come across some of the most heinous, evil masculines on the mother freaking planet, right? But I refuse to allow anybody. And I've been through, and I've come into contact with some of the most petty, jealous, envious, wannabe, raggedy, attacking, evil, witchy women, right? And they probably was operating in a masculine energy. But I refuse to let that change me, right? I refuse. I will continue to be like the rose that grew through the crack in the concrete. And I want the same for you guys. I want the same for you guys. So I want you to remember that there's no transformation without pain, right? And we have the ability to transmute our negative energies, pain, our suffering. We have the ability to transmute and alchemize, right? So alchemizing is literally when they change metals into gold, y'all. So we have the ability to alchemize all of those negative situations, all of those negative energies, and really transmute them and transform them into something beautiful, right? And that's probably where our creative expression comes from, right? Because we take all of the things that we have been through and we alchemize it. We alchemize it, right? And in the end, what is presented is something beautiful. In the end, it's a diamond that has gone through the pressure. It was a piece. It was a hunk of coal, but it went through the pressure and the process to become a diamond, right? You become the rose that pushed through so freaking hard that she was able to break through the crack of the concrete. Okay, you guys. So that is all I got for y'all. That is all I got for y'all. I wanted to remind you to stay within your feminine energy, stay within your feminine power, stay soft, stay pliable. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying don't stand up for yourself and don't do what it is that you need to do, because when you need to, you know what I'm saying? Like when you need to handle stuff, when you need to like step into your masculine energy, by all means, do so, right? But don't get stuck there. Don't get stuck there. Always have that balance and never forget how powerful the feminine energy is. Even as it relates to manifesting and things of that nature, it's certain things that like God put in men in order for men to be able to produce and do, and then there's certain things that only women can produce and do. So guys, we want to definitely make sure that we are staying within our feminine energy, our feminine power, so that we can keep that balance in the universe, in our households, in our communities, in the world. Okay, so that's all I got for y'all. I love y'all. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, so what I want y'all to do, I want you to make sure that you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the bell button so you know every time I post up. I want you to share this video with your friends. Share with your friends. Share this video with your friends. And I want you to comment. I want you to comment. Let me know. Have you guys ever read the poem by Tupac Shakur, "The Rose That Grew Through Concrete"? And I want you to, what else I want y'all to do? Remember, I love you. Peace.